Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is May 29th of 2016. Someone asked for me to show the settings for setting up microphones. I'm not going to go in, I'm going to make this very basic, and I'm going to stick on this one subject because I tend to ramble and somebody wants to see something on a video and they end up seeing that and have to listen through a bunch of other garbage. I'm going to keep it the very simple part. This is with Windows 10. I'm going to show you how to mess with them on Windows 10. If you watch my videos, you may see I'm using a Blue Yeti right now, and from time to time I mess with my other microphones, and I've used headsets. And I want to show you the settings for, oops. Now this is for Windows 10. So you plug in your USB mic or your microphone that uses a 3.5 jack, audio jack, or whatever. And hopefully when you plug in a USB device, it's going to detect it. But let's say that you plug in something and you need to go adjust the settings, or or it's not working. So we're going to go with the settings. So here we have the pop-up. Now this is for playback. So here I have a NVIDIA card plugged in, and every time I update it, every time there's an upgrade, and it kicks in and it'll activate this one here at the top. It'll activate their card, and then nothing works. So I have to go in and disable it. Now I've also installed a extra program, Razor, and it's you may have something like this installed. Or you may not. This is something that is installed, and it actually works with my headphones and works also with my speakers. But you may have this or something else installed, and if so, now if I'm using on this Sound Blaster speakers. If I go in here and I try to disable this other setting here because they're going through it or something, it's going to, but I'm using the Sound Blaster speakers. Now I'm using another program that Xstream I can use, and it has a thing on here which I keep disabled. Now we're going to ignore the Yeti microphone down here because we're looking at playback devices, and my playback device is my Sound Blaster. The device back there is let me see where I can close this, and here. There it is. This tower thing here, there are speakers in there, and there are dual microphones. But we're going to ignore it in the playback mode. But in the recording mode, you can see that I'm using a Logitech Webcam C930. You will see that I have it disabled because I'm using the camera, but I'm not using the microphone on it. It has a microphone on it. Also, I have the audio board in here, or the sound card thing is built into the soundboard. I'm not using that. And you also see that I'm not using the internal microphone array on that. I'm not using the microphone in. There's a jack in on the back of that. I'm not using that. But down here, and you can see the thing moving, I'm using the Yeti microphone, and this is the default device. If I click on it, I can go over here and hit Properties, and I can name it what I want to name it. And here in this case, I did actually change the icon for it to make it a little easier when I'm looking down the list. There's a setting here for listening, and then there's levels. I'm going to kick this up to 90, okay? And there are advanced settings. And here, you shouldn't have to mess with this, but you can, I have it set on 2 channel, 16-bit, and it looks, and 4800 kilohertz. It looks like I could use 2 channel and 44100 kilohertz. So I can also do a right click on here, configure speech recognition. And here's where I would, these other devices, I would, anything that's disabled, let me do this, I'll just click on this, show disabled devices. Okay, now I've taken off all the devices that I have disabled. Show disconnected devices. I'm showing disconnected devices. I actually keep these activated because that's sometimes, because when I go there, if I have a problem, if a microphone doesn't show up and it happens to be something that's disabled, if I don't see it, I have to go in and click the setting and show me the disabled thing. So I usually show disabled devices. So I show them all, but it makes it, can make a long list for somebody. Now that's really it. That's the, you know, the part I'm not going to go into is if you run into a problem and a device driver needs to be installed. In that case, you would have to go in and, which I haven't had to do in a long time, and Windows 10 is working great. And I plug in a bunch of different speakers and microphones and all types because I'm getting things into review and I'm trying different things. So, but you might have to go in sometime and install a driver. Sometime you could have, and I haven't had this happen in a long time, something where you have the driver that you have doesn't want to work and you want to go back to the driver you were using before that you replaced it with. You can go into that and pick that one. So I want to end this here because I want to keep this short and simple. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope this answers any questions you might have had.